Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. I told you just 22 hours. We'd be right back. I didn't lie to you, folks. Anyway, great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the Moon Griffon Show. Let's see. I got Brandon. Let's see. We got Judge Genovese. We got Charles Bustani will join us. By the way, Jeff Landry at 10. You missed that. Well, they usually come on at 9. They were tied up. I just moved them back to 10. It wasn't a big deal, but they won't talk to Jeff Landry. They still hitting old Jeff in the newspapers every day and making him like he's the bad guy because they still protecting John Bell Edwards. And anyway, we have Jeff on to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on. James Carver, I told you, James Carver. I tell you, I did KGB go down and rushing into KGB. I'm telling you, y'all like him. I never did like him. I think I don't care how much money he made. I don't care how successful he was with Bill Clinton. He is arrogant. He is ignorant. And he makes the whole state look stupid every time he gets on TV, in my humble opinion. He does. And of course, he's back. You know, he was back. They just bring $1 through a trailer park and see what you can find out. You know, and people are impressed with that. And he's impressed that he can try to run people's lives. KGB, not a KGB's with Trump, folks. You notice what the press is doing now? The press is now turning back to Trump's taxes. They don't know what to do because of what's going on with Hillary. And I'm going to tell you, we got to find out a way to burn them back. You know, I don't care if it's advertisement or what. They got to be a way. They got to be a way to burn these people back. Got to be. To burn these people back that have done what they've done this election. To take sides and to constantly shove it down our face. I mean, it's got to be a way we got to fight back, folks. I'm just saying, because what they've done. I mean, go get James Carver. You talk about it may not be trailer trash, but it's Louisiana trash. That's what it becomes, Louisiana trash. James Carver's back, folks. Now it's KGB. I mean, he has a total meltdown. FBI, GOP, KGB, all in cahoots. No, James, you got a bad candidate. You had a bad client that's made you a lot of money. You got a mafia-type client that's made you a lot of money, and it's killing you now. And you don't worry about the truth. You don't worry about the Constitution. I mean, Carver's a joke. Y'all go ahead and like him. I never could stand him. I always thought he was arrogant. You know what? He still is. Now he's come and helped Hillary now, I guess. I mean, he just made a fool out of himself. You know, repeatedly attacking the FBI's decision to reopen investigation. That reminds me, and a good friend of mine asked me this question. So let's see, James Comey was brilliant to the press and the Democrats when he decided not to press charges against Hillary. Brilliant. One of the smartest people they knew. By the way, did you see what the president backed him up yesterday? President Obama backed up everything he said yesterday, and he still trusts him. President Obama, which really threw Hillary under the bus. And so Comey was really bright. And now that he came back and found out 650,000 more emails that we don't even know everything that's in there, and now he's the dumbest thing in the world. He's stupid. He's partisan. He's this and he's that. What if it had been reversed? What if the first time he came out, Brandon, he would have said, we're pressing charges. We're going after her. Okay? They would have been jumping on him. If then he'd have came back and reversed and said, no, there's nothing here. They would all of a sudden do the same thing because you're dealing with the left. The left could care less about the truth. The Clintons are bad business. That means if James Carver's defending them, he's bad business too. You know? And he's not that bright anyway. I mean, I talked to people and say he was in law school. He was a fool. You know, he's a fool that made it big. This is about what I heard. I hear that all the time. You know, it's just crazy what the press is doing now. They turning back on Trump and going back to the taxes, trying to create something. And I told y'all, folks, I'm going to say it again. Wait till we see what breaks between now and Friday, because I am convinced they will try something. They will try something to get this thing off of Hillary. It doesn't need to go off of Hillary. This whole election should have been about a Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton anyway. If people would look at the record of the man in charge of the economy, of the health care bill, and we can go on and on and on and on of what he's done with illegal immigration, It's no way we would vote for this lady. It's no way we would support him. Wait, is that door open? I hear from way over there.
No, it's because they're in the newsroom next to us.
Okay, well, now I see why I'm loud.
Getting a taste of it, Moon.
Stevie P wants to come on the air. Just tell him to come on the air. We'll put him on the air. I hear him more than I hear me, which is not always
I thought he was going off about the Cubs.
I thought he was going off on me.
Oh.
Gee whiz. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. If you're watching the news at all, here's Carville bringing in the KGB. The Democrats are the KGB. The Democrats are the party of control except for what? Drugs, alcohol, sex, and abortion. After that, they're going to control your lives. They're the total party of control. They want to shut talk radio now. They want to shut Fox now. They don't want you to believe that the only way a marriage is between a man and a woman. They don't want you to believe that. They want you to believe it's okay for a man to go in a woman's bathroom. Who is the control freak? It's amazing to watch this. I keep watching it, and I'm just going, wow. Look at what the press is doing. They're trying to change the narrative on this whole thing. And folks, they can't change it. But they're going to do their dangest to do it, and that's why I think they come up with something on Trump. Something else on Trump, whether it's true or not, we'll never know. We will never know. But they're going to make sure you know one side of the story. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. I don't care if James Carville is from Louisiana. I think he's an ignorant fool, and I think he makes us look bad. I don't care how much money he's made. There's a lot of foolish people with money in their pocket, folks. Then there's the other one making us embarrassed, Donna Brazile. CNN fires her. And basically, Brandon, they said, they don't say CNN fires her. They said that she just quit. But the bottom line is CNN is more guilty than Donna Brazile. Well, we didn't give her the questions. No, then how did she get them? You think she went online to get them? I mean, the emails. So Donna Brazile, who, by the way, was ahead of the Democrat Party. We saw where Schutz, what was it? Who was it? Debbie Wasserman Schutz. She got fired because they're all pro-Hillary. If I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter, how in the world can you vote for Hillary when you know that the two heads of the DNC, they're going to be on their third DNC chair in the last 6 months. Third one. The party of filth would be on their third one. Third person to head it up because the other two got fired. Chairwoman of the Democrat National Committee cheated for Hillary, not only through the Democrat Party, but cheated through CNN. You think these people would cheat when it comes to voting? Absolutely. They don't care. Outcome is all they care about. And they know nobody's going to mess with them because the press is all along with them. CNN is as guilty as Donna Brazile. It's amazing. Amazing to me. All right, here's what we're going to do, Brandon. He's not on yet, but I'm going to take for granted he's going to call. We'll take a little bit earlier break, have Charles Bustani on a few minutes. We got Judge Genovese, which is in the Supreme Court race, which is an interesting race. We'll have that after. So, and then Jeff Landry at 10. A lot of people get in today. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Excuse me. If you'd like to be part of the program. Donna Brazile out. Latest development. Charges by backers of Clinton's key primary opponent, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, that the party's national machinery heavily favored Hillary. I'm telling you, that is a controlled party. Controls poor people, uneducated people, illegals. Controls ignorance. It's just a controlled party. Total control. Hey, Obama's the one who wants the police force that rivals our military, not the Republican Party, Mr. Carville. Obama wanted that. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people believe through these riots and all this Black Lives Matter craziness that he does control some of the police departments because of what we've had with people saying cops are shooting. All of a sudden, that stopped, hasn't it? All of a sudden, it stopped, hasn't it? I wonder why. Donna Brazile, James Carville, embarrassment from Louisiana. to my book, embarrassment. All Democrat hacks, party hacks. There's now James Carville believed the KGB's in this thing now. KGB. I mean, just say crazy crap, and they put him on CNN, MSNBC, and people listen to that mess. People actually watch that stuff. Wow. Let's go to Jeff in Lake Charles. Jeff, thanks for holding. How you doing, sir?
Hey, pretty good, Moon. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
And, you were talking earlier about what can we do? What can we do? I'm here to tell you, I think the American people are figuring out, and they figured it out, and they're actually doing it right now. And that's evident by the Kaepernick thing, the NFL. People are not watching the football as they once were.
Hey, I'm one of them. I'm one of them, man. I ain't even close to watching that crap. And they've already did a poll and said most of the people are not watching it because of that. That's what I mean. We got to do the same thing with the political stuff.
I'm with you. Well, I heard yesterday, too, on passing, somebody was throwing out a stat at ESPN, and you know how political they are now. Their subscribership went down in 1 month, 650-some thousand subscriptions. Now, various reasons, but I'm telling you, too, people are figuring this out. We are catching on, and this sleeping giant of the silent majority is coming awake. And,
yeah, well, I want to see him. I want to see him come to awake on this election. I hope that's what you mean.
We are. I really believe that, and I think that the CNNs and all these other obtuse, quirky networks, MSNBC, they're not getting the viewership. I really, really believe that. And that's obvious by them not putting out the stats on that. They want to keep it quiet, and they're pulling out everything. I mean, I'm just preaching to the choir here. I know all these people are listening and saying the same thing, but we need it reinforced, and that's what's happening every day out there, that people are turning the stuff off. And it's making an effect. But that's just my little 2 cents, and I really, really think that.
Well,
everywhere you go,
if it make you feel better during election season, I approve your message.
Thank you.
I approve your message. How's that, brother? That's the best I can help you with.
Hey, that's pretty damn good.
That's pretty dang good. All right, brother. Appreciate the call. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. I just thought it'd be good to approve the message, Brandon. I hope that was okay with you. But continue to watch this. And continue to watch what they're going to try to do. That's why I believe something's going to pop up between now and Friday, because the press needs an angle, and it needs to be anti-Trump. That's what I see right now. It's look, when I see them bringing James Carville back out, it's time to go bail the Clintons out again. I never will understand, how will people vote for evil? How will people vote for someone like that? They know good and well what these people are capable of doing. It is. And when you look at the emails, and more emails to come, it's a phenomenal thing to watch right now. We're watching. It really is. She has no business being the nominee. Stock market says likely winner is Trump. Carville cracks. Tactics of accusing critics of criminal alliances. Allegiance has long, ugly history. So they do. They go back to the same thing. The Democrats are already suing in 4 states. Polls showed Trump jump. And what is the press talking about? Russia, the KGB, and taxes again. By the way, there's a rap song on Hillary. You may want to pull it up and play it. It's a pretty good rap song. I didn't hear any curse words or dirty words in it. We could send it to Michelle Obama and let her approve it for her kids, and if she approves it, we can get it back. Steve in Lafayette. How you doing, Steve?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, Moon, I guess. Maybe there's a little hope for us out there. I wanted to chime in on, this open borders thing, and I don't think it gets nearly enough attention, that Hillary wants open borders, and what that means in a democracy, because I think we've already lost our republic. But a democracy, how many people would bring 10 people into their home and give them equal votes? Strangers, I'm talking about, into your house and give them an equal vote, and they vote you out of your house.
Good
and that's
point.
what's happened in our country. we bring all these people in with all these different ideas, and we open the borders to everybody to come here from anywhere they want to, bring their own ideas, change our culture to fit their culture, and give them the vote to vote you out.
No, well, that's why we get mad at Republicans that say they're conservative when they don't fight this. They don't fight this with every blood and ounce of sweat they have.
And articulate it. Just make it clear what that means is when you allow all these people to come. I mean, this happened in England. That's part of what the Brexit deal was all about, is all the people Germany was taking in. They didn't stay in Germany. They went over to England, got on their welfare system, and then were voting of it. I mean, a democracy means they're going to take all your stuff. I'm just so disappointed in the people's understanding of what's going on.
The democracy is basically a mob rule. That's all a democracy is, mob rules, is what we believe. That's why we got a different type country. It's a country of laws. When you have somebody at the highest land like Obama, and especially the Clintons, abusing the law, abusing the Constitution, abusing the law, then what you're doing is you're sending a message to everybody else, hey, it's okay to do this. And what's happening at the border will destroy us before it's over. And these people coming here, they may be some that are coming to assimilate and they want to come legally. I'm not talking about those. We're talking about the group coming in just to come in to get the freebies and vote Democrat, because there's no doubt in my mind that's what's taking place. And some illegals will vote, but when they come citizens, they shipped in a ton of them from Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico has one of those little socialist economies that they're trying to make us, and people were fleeing that state, so they come to Florida, and because that's part of the United States, quote, they become legal voters overnight. Overnight.
But anybody, that is a part of this country, is that this is their country too, and if they just want to give it away, I don't understand why they vote in lockstep with the Democrats when the Democrats clearly want to bring in.
Yeah, but you know what? When it happens, when it gets to that point, it's too late. That's the problem. I agree 100% with you. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. The Moon Griffon Show right after this. Hey, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us as we rock and roll. We'll get back to all the hot issues of the day. But we got a hot issue. It's called the Supreme Court judge race. Jimmy Genovese, Judge Genovese, women judge. I didn't mean to short you about judge because I know you're a judge. Anyway, good to see you.
Yes, good morning, Moon.
But, you know, I will go back to when you first came on with me, and I laughed. I said, boy, I remember Supreme Court justice race that was really bad. This race is heated up. It's heated up a lot more than I thought it was when it first started out. But I got a feeling Louisiana is part of the process.
I'm just appalled at what has taken place. The first time I came on this show, I was hoping that there would not be any type of negative ads in a judicial race. And I'm really concerned about this outside money, out-of-state money coming in here trying to buy this election. That's a shame. It's embarrassing to me. It's embarrassing to the state. This is an election for the highest court in the state of Louisiana. We don't need any outside interest from Virginia or from Washington trying to come in here and buy this election.
So y'all both got two angles, because the angle on you is that you got the trial lawyers behind you, because I'm just watching ads now. The other angle is that we got outside money. So I don't know which one it is or which one to believe. I just know Supreme Court justice race is at stake here.
Well, and that's a fair question, Moon, and I expect that. And I'm glad to be able to address that. Lawyers are behind me. I have a lot of lawyers that are behind me, both plaintiff lawyers and defense lawyers. And I'm honored by that, because lawyers know who the best judge is. Lawyers are in court. They try cases. They know who the best judges are. They've been in court before me as a district judge. They've been in court before me as an appellate judge. You will notice that all of my support comes from the state of Louisiana and the people of Louisiana. The support from my opponent, for a majority, especially the negative ads, has come from people from Washington, from Virginia.
In all fairness, it's been negative on both sides.
Well, I have to defend myself, Moon. I didn't start this, and I asked from the beginning not to do this.
You know what's funny, though, Judge? I'm being real blunt because I do this for a living. Yeah. I never know who starts it.
Well, I do.
It cranks up. But what I'm saying, not just your race.
Yeah.
You can go grab congressional, Senate race, governor's race. It all starts somewhere, and I just think the quest for the position, not necessarily Supreme Court, it comes into play. That you only got this thing's over next Tuesday. Your race is over. It's no runoff. It's no third or no fourth. It's gonna be you or your opponent. Simple as that.
That's a good thing. So that's
y'all both celebrate.
That's a
that.
real good thing. I was hoping, and I said early on that I would hope we would keep this above board because it's a judicial race, and unfortunately, it got ugly. And the problem I have with that, Moon, is that people believe what they see on TV, and so I have to defend myself. And there's a key distinction. What I say in my ads is true. I don't misrepresent or distort the facts about those things and those negative ads about me. Because 2 of those 3 opinions I didn't even write. The other one was a motion for a new trial. It wasn't even dispositive of any particular issue. So it really is when you have to go and do that. But I would expect that from out-of-state interests.
On the positive side, and we talked about this before, what do you bring to the court? If you get to be the Supreme Court justice, what do you think you're bringing personally for your experiences to the court that people are going to be able to see?
I know what I'll bring to the court. It's what I've brought to the court for the last 21 years. I treat everybody equally and fairly. I give them a level playing field, and I do not succumb to outside interest. These people that dump $1 million into this race, they want something. They don't do this for nothing. They want influence and control. And Jimmy Genovese is not for sale, and neither is this Supreme Court. So I bring those values of being fair and equal to everyone, treating them equally, giving them a level playing field, not catering to any outside interest, and following the rule of law, Moon. That is really, really important. We want to make sure that this Supreme Court race, this is for the state of Louisiana. This is not for Washington. Do you really want your court to be run like Washington is run? Give me a break here.
Well, you come to the court now, you're appellate court, good judge. So you've been there how long?
I've been an appellate court judge. I'm finishing up my 12th year after 10 years.
Is that a 10-year term?
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
you filled 2 years and then one election for the other.
Yes, I was elected in 2004, started January of 2005, and 2 years ago I was elected without opposition for a 10-year term. So I'm going to be representing the people of Acadiana and the 21 parishes in the Court of Appeal, regardless. Win or lose. If
you get on a court, everybody, your opponent, you, whoever that gets on this court, you got to have opinions on subjects and all that. How does that affect anybody going into the court? Like, I think you're a Second Amendment guy.
Sure.
How do you take that and say, okay, Moon, I'm a Second Amendment guy, but I'm going to look at what the court says and what the law says and things of that nature? Because sometimes you can have an opinion, you feel strongly about something. And I know you heard of a judicial activist on the courts before. Mm-hmm. And I think some people say we don't have that, but I think everybody's a little biased when they get elected.
Well, we all have our personal beliefs, and what it is called, your personal beliefs do not bleed over into judicial philosophy. Moon, you take an oath to uphold the Constitution and laws of the United States, Constitution and laws of Louisiana, and you're to follow the law. That's why I said when I follow the rule of law, that means we take the law as the legislature gives it to us and apply it to the facts that are proven in court, and by the grace of God, render a fair and impartial determination. So our personal interest cannot bleed over or overrule or affect our particular interest. We have to follow the law. So even though we disagree with the law, there are a lot of things I disagree with in the law. There are things I'd like to change. But as a judge, that's not my function. That's a legislative function.
I've always been concerned about just judges in general, only for one thing, that if they're doing something personally instead of doing what the law says. Like to give you an example, we wrote laws that we should never have gambling in the state of Louisiana. That's a law. It's on the books.
Right.
But when they changed it to gaming, it got back to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, hey, the legislature's defined gaming as different from gambling. So the Supreme Court upheld that gaming is not gambling. As you well know, gaming is gambling, but the way so what they did was they basically took what the legislature said. I'm going back to what you said. Exactly. You may be against gambling. I'm not saying you are. You may be against gambling, but the legislature redefined gambling and gaming as two separate entities, and the Supreme Court basically ruled in their favor. Because it's what the law said. It's what they wrote into the law.
And that happens over and over and over.
You see the point I'm making?
Absolutely.
That's the kind of things you go, okay, I'm not a big gambling guy. I'd rather vote for somebody that didn't like gambling. But the fact is, the way they did it, the legislature screwed it up, not the Supreme Court. Am I wrong by saying that?
No, you're not wrong about that. And what happens is, and you see it time and time again, a case will come before the court. The court will have to interpret that particular case because either there's a question of how it's supposed to be applied, and the court interprets it. And the court interprets it and says, well, it's gambling, and therefore it's unconstitutional. What happens is the next legislative session, what they want to do, they come back and they redefine and pass more legislation to kind of top the Supreme Court decision. Every time you have a Supreme Court decision that people don't like, you come back with a legislative act.
So it's a separate entity now. It comes to you as gaming, not gambling.
Yes. Yeah, they redefine it, and what you're seeing is a beautiful interplay of checks and balances. And that's the way that our government is supposed to work. System of checks and balances between the legislative, executive, and judicial branch.
But gaming, and I'm using this as one example of many. You could probably bring up some other ones, but gaming became not gambling, because if you have food, you have this, and you have that to go along with it, it's not just gambling.
They redefined it to make it what they wanted.
And I know people that got mad at the Supreme Court. I really didn't get mad at the Supreme Court for that decision. I got mad at the legislature for coming back with a slick move. And, that's why I asked you the question, because that is part of the process. Once again, as a judge, you got to be able to sit there and say, hold up now. I'm making the decision based on what the law says. The legislature wrote the law. You didn't.
That's exactly, and I hope judges would follow your line of thinking there, because we're supposed to make our judgments and render our decision based on the law, not on our personal beliefs or outside interests.
Well, the other reason I brought that up is people have more control than they think when they elect their representatives that make laws and stop laws. That's where you can get involved at. In this case, the Supreme Court justice, you're going to be somebody that's trying to base everything on what the law says. Yeah. Not necessarily what you think.
That's the oath that I took, and that's the oath that I uphold.
And by the way, I got to believe, let me ask this question. I got to believe that's tough, too. Because sometimes you sit here and said, I wouldn't vote for this, I wouldn't do this. But the way y'all wrote this thing, I have no choice. Am I wrong by saying that?
Moon, on many occasions, I wish I had the authority where I see an injustice has been done to a family, to a child or something, and the law just doesn't provide for it. And I've got to follow the law, because if we don't follow the law, we have anarchy. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, we're a country of laws. I wish somebody would tell the Clintons, but that's not you. That's me. Judge, I give Brad goes, don't bring the judge in this move. Judge, just a few seconds, go and address the voters.
Well, today's the last day for early voting, and if you don't vote today, then you got one more chance on November the 8th, and I'm hoping that everyone gets out and votes. Tell your relative, your family, your friends, please get out and vote. Make your voice be heard. I want to personally thank you, Moon. I've met you and Brandon, really great guys, and I love your program.
See, we fooled some people, I told you.
Yeah, and I like it when you get all emotional and your voice gets elevated, all of that. And I hope that the people will go out and stay alive and vote 65 for Jimmy Genovese. Please don't let this outside interest. Please don't let Washington, D.C. run your court system. This is a Louisiana position for Louisiana State Supreme Court. For the next 10 years, everybody's life, liberty, and property is at stake. And I hope that you would consider the fact that put an appellate court judge in this Supreme Court position, which is an appellate court position.
You didn't know it was a cartoon, did you?
Yes, I'm reading this cartoon while we're talking.
What you need to do while we're taking a break is tell me which one of those three guys will write off the air. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. We'll be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. Do you know they're probing 5 separate FBI cases, are probing virtually every one of Clinton's inner circles and their families. Every one of them. John Poindexter, the Clinton Foundation, Governor Terry McAuliffe, Cheryl Mills, Huber. Is it Hubba or Huber? Huma. All our friends, all of them FBI investigation, all of them. You going to vote for that for president? I got one question. Are you crazy? 600. Chicago source passed 600 homicides after bloody October. Inner cities, under Obama, crashing and burning under Barack Obama. Hillary to do the same thing. And we got James Carver out there. How's got KGB hollering about the KGB. Unbelievable. 844-766-6607. Jane, how you doing, Miss Jane?
How you doing, Moon?
I'm hanging in there. Good to hear from you.
I just want to say, I know I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. I'd like to talk to the women of America. Women's lib has went too far. When you can stand there and want to put a woman in office just because she's a woman, I think these women that their mind thinks like that need to be home, tending to their house, tending to their husband and their children. They have no business voting. I don't think women ought to be abused, and we should have some rights. But when you want to put a woman in office just because she's a woman, there's something wrong with your thinking.
Well, that's like putting a white in because he's white, a black because he's black, a woman because they're woman.
Hello?
It's a woman. You with me?
I'm with you.
Yeah, just that. I know what you're saying, but there are people going to vote for Hillary because she's a woman. There were people that voted for Barack Obama droves because he was black. Had no qualifications to be
know
president.
How to say that.
Hey, he didn't have no. Look, I said people. Some people do that. That's a fact. That's not racist. That's not ugly. That's not anything. It's honesty.
That is not racist.
No, it's honest. There were a lot of people that voted for Obama because he was black. No qualifications to be president of the United States. None whatsoever. None, and I'm just saying it's ridiculous. And but you do have. You've always had people do it. You got people that will vote for somebody only if they're white. Only if they're white male. That's not right either.
No, that's not right. But I'm just upset with the women. I thought we had better brains than that. So it doesn't matter what she does, and they know what she's doing, but just because she's a woman, they want to put her in. So I thank you for your time, and you have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate the call. No, there's definitely some of that going on. It went with Obama, but there's people out there who wouldn't vote but nothing but a white man. I'm being honest with you. They're out there, and I tried to vote for the best person. The problem is most people I vote for get beat. So I don't feel so bad when things are going bad because a lot of these candidates aren't mine. You know, Bell Edwards is not mine. That's Scott Angel and Jay Darden's puppy. And anybody that votes for them is supporting what John Bell Edwards is going to do, which is taxes to prosperity. We heard about that yesterday with Kennedy on. It's amazing how bad of a spending problem we have in Baton Rouge, and the only people see it are people that can't do nothing about it like me and Kennedy. I mean, I just think that's amazing. You know, CB couldn't do anything about it. He didn't have a vote either. But we see it because we have eyes to see and ears to hear. We hear it. We see it. I can smell it because I have a nose to smell it. Some people can't. They have all that, and some people just don't get it. It's an amazing thing. Let's go to Rhonda in Lafayette. How you doing, Miss Rhonda?
Doing just fine. Good morning. How are you?
Doing fine. Good to hear from you, Sha.
Yeah, well, thank you. I just wanted to say I think that everything you're saying is like so on point. Women need to think with their brains and not with their gender. And I believe that poor Sha Hillary, poor thing, she just needs to go find a hole and just sit, just be, go away.
Well, and you know what, though?
You have every bit of this right.
Yeah, you know, she needs to go away. Obama needs to go away. I don't want to never see the name of Bush again. By the way, did you see this, Rhonda? John Kasich voted. Now, I'm going to show you pure ignorance. A guy that wanted to be president. You know who he voted for? He wrote in John McCain. Oh, no, it's all over the place. He wrote in John McCain. I mean, that's the guy who wants to, he's a leader. That's called a leader. No. He's a Republican. He voted. Oh, man, what a man. Boy, I tell you what, a man like that, boy, I wish he could be president. He can really make good decisions. He wrote in John McCain.
Hello. I hear you. I'm so with you on that. I don't know what is going on with the Republican Party across the board. I mean, they got a few good ones. Like, I love Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy is like the bomb. I mean, he's out there. He's doing his job, and he's fighting for Americans across the whole country. And poor thing, he looks a little sick. I think he needs to go to the doctor. But he is doing such a great job on just fighting for America.
Yep.
And then you have and James Comey. I don't know why he didn't indict or go for further. They didn't even have a grand jury panel for the Benghazi hearings and everything. And I did listen to all of the hearings. Hillary did not do her job. She had one job to take care of her people. That's it.
Hillary,
and she was waiting on the Department of Justice.
And the Clintons made fortune because of the government work they were in. The Clinton Foundation is probably one of the most scrupulous things that have ever come along in the Clintons' names. If the FBI really gets after these people, there's no way they could stand it. The American people ought to be so upset on how they made the millions of dollars they made selling favors from the White House to the Secretary of State's office. It really ought to be brought down to their knees. And yet you got people going to vote for Hillary Clinton.
And I cannot understand that. I cannot believe, it's scary that have you talked to any of these college students? They don't have a clue. All they know is they know the name. That's all they know is they know the name.
No, I've seen them interview college students on why they were voting for Hillary, and give one thing that she's done, they can't even name it. That's just what you have to deal with. But that's a Democrat Party voter. They either so left and they have no God in their life, they never see the truth, or the other side is they just don't have a clue and don't want to have a clue. They're voting Democrat and they just don't care.
They're selfish, and they're not worried about the country. They're worried about their own personal, let's make sure I can do this, and let's make sure I can do that. Yeah, I agree. And we need to think about our country. We need to think about our Supreme Court justices. Scalia he was untouchable. He was so great. And then when you have, I believe that there are people that could, I don't know if they'll ever fill his shoes to the extent that he was so wonderful. But I pray to God. Donald Trump does have some pretty good names on his list. I'm really, pleased with that. And I'm going to tell you, I wasn't a Trump fan at first. I jumped on real quick. I was more of a Ted Cruz person. Mm-hmm. But I'm a Republican, and I'm going to back. Well, if we didn't have a good, decent person, I don't know what I would do. And Donald Trump, sometimes he has been questionable, but I'm going to tell you something. He's never made a mistake that killed 4 guys and left them hanging in Benghazi. And he never
got rich by using the government for their own foundation. Hey, I got to go, Rhonda. God bless. Thank you. Joanna in Lafayette. How you doing, Joanna?
Hey, Moon. How are you?
I'm doing great, Chef.
Moon, in March, last March, when I was hearing people calling in to different shows on the radio and saying, I'm a Cruz person, I'm not going to vote for Trump, or they'd say, it's the opposite. I'm a Trump person, I won't vote for Cruz if he wins the nomination. I was upset about it, and so I wrote a parody, a story. And the moral of the story is called The Fable for Conservatives. It's online right now, but the moral of the story is, when in doubt, vote for Trump.
Yeah.
And in other words, vote for the best person. Trump, you may have preferred Cruz, but Trump is.
Yeah. Hey, I got to go, Joanna. Thank you, darling. We'll be back. More of the Moon Griffon Show right after this. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Hey, by the way, I meet business people all the time. I met a guy yesterday, Danny, out at Anco Disposal and Landfill Incorporated, Brandon. What a nice guy. Their company is located there in the Carencro, Louisiana. And it's a place that people can, let me back up. It's a place where businesses, contractors, construction people can go and dump stuff. It's a landfill. They dump it and cover it and do all that stuff. And I met the guy. What a great guy. What a great business guy. What a good guy to meet. You people out there in the construction business, if you're looking at a place to dump your stuff in a landfill, this is not for personal people to go out there and dump, but for anybody in a construction type company, construction type business, you need to go out there and use this guy. Good business guy, great guy. I like to meet good people. I like to meet good business people. Here's one of them out there busting his butt every day. The name of the company is Anco, A-N-G-C-O, Anco Disposal and Landfill Incorporated. Danny's the guy's name. He's the general manager, and he does a great job, and it's just good to meet people like that. So I'm going to throw a little pub out there to him. If you're a contractor, you want to give this guy a call, you're going to be glad you did. All right, Kasich votes for another Republican. And by the way, I want to play something Trump said about this food. John Kasich made good on his vow. He wrote in the name of John McCain for president. Okay, no, that's not a wasted vote at all, folks. He didn't just help Hillary at all. John Kasich, Republican, Ohio. What an ignorant buffoon. And I love what Trump said about his eating habits, too.
You look at Kasich, I don't think he knows what, did you see him? He has a news conference all the time when he's eating. I have never seen a human being eat in such a disgusting fashion.
John Kasich.
I'm always telling my young son, Barron, I'm saying, and I always with my kids, all of them, I'd say, children, small little bites, small. This guy takes a pancake and he's shoving it in his mouth. It's disgusting. Do you want that for your president? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It's honestly, it's disgusting. I'm not getting out. I don't care. You ever see it? He's eating today, stuffing it. I never saw bites this big. He's pushing it in with his. I never saw a guy eat like this.
And he didn't vote for it.
I told my son, he was watching. He said, "Daddy, look." I said, don't watch. Little bites.
Gee whiz. I mean, I love that. And Casey didn't vote for him. I'm glad he popped him about his eating habits. But that's the kind of Republicans. That's the Scott Angel. That's the Jay Darden Republicans. Okay, they just did it for themselves. The selfish bunch of boop, 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 boop. And that's all they for. They're not for anybody else but themselves. And that's what Scott Angel and Darden did to Vitter.
You know how
and look at Casey. What an ignorant fool.
Well, you know how people always say, well, Donald Trump is just saying what we think. In that case, he was definitely saying what I thought, because I always notice when John Kasich could do those interviews and he'd just be eating and stuffing his face during those interviews. And I'm like, man, take a break and talk to the reporters if you're going to talk to them. Don't talk to them with egg coming out your mouth.
Yeah, well, Kasich tells me he's a Hillary Clinton supporter. Why in the heck would anybody ever vote for him? And by the way, what was his percentage in the presidential race? Oh, that's right, he got knocked out. My bad. Okay, well, if Kasich was in there, he would win. Maybe, maybe not. Democrats are in panic mode, folks. All you got to do is watch them on the press. When they bringing back James Carville to talk about KGB, you know they're in panic mode. I wonder why. Why would they be in panic mode? This is going to be an interesting finish to this race. I don't know who's going to win the race. I'll be honest with you, I just don't know. I don't even know how to judge something like this. I think it's a sin and a shame if Hillary wins. It really is, to put somebody else in. They could go in 15 different directions to put these people in jail. They could go 15 different directions to put her in jail. And people are voting for her. That tells you that people don't understand and don't care what's going on. One of the things to look at is enthusiastic vote. You got people coming out the woodworks for Trump. People are not enthused about Hillary, but we said that all along. Nobody wants to vote for her. She's got a D by her name. By the way, Democrat Party sued Trump for alleged voter intimidation in 4 states. That's made up. Trump's not. They always they do this. Brandon, you ever notice how when they do something, they project it on other people? Okay? They imprison people in the inner cities. Got James Carville talking about the KGB. Okay? They totally use voter fraud. And then they talk about intimidation at the lawsuit. You remember last time during Obama, they had it wasn't Black Lives Matter, it was the Black Panthers patrolling these darn precincts. That was real intimidation. This is what Democrats do. Whatever they do, they project it on someone else. My mama said be careful of people like that. In a lawsuit filed in federal court, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, Ohio, Democrats argue that Trump and Republican Party officials are mounting a campaign vigilant voter intimidation that violated the 65 and 71 law aimed at the Ku Klux Klan. That's what they bring it up. Why? They want to get people to go vote. They got to bring up race. Bring it up, baby. Bring it up. Trump has sought to advance his campaign goal to voter suppression by using loudest microphones in the nation to employ supporters to engage in unlawful intimidation. Ohio Democratic Party wrote. I mean, all made up stuff they're doing. His whole strategy is to suppress the vote. Lots of noise, lots of distraction. Hillary Clinton said in Cleveland. Nobody's depressing any votes. Nobody ever depresses the vote. What happens is the left wants to vote multiple times so they can win. It's just keep watching this, folks. Syrian refugees to U.S. are up 675%. 99% of them are Muslims. Sharia law. 99% are Muslims. Illegals flood in from everywhere. Thank you, Barack Obama. Nobody's looking at this. Immigrant population tops all-time high. All-time high. Merkel's Germany descends into lawlessness, losing control of the streets because of refugees and illegals. I want you to think about that. He's on kind of late. I'm going to have to fuss at him. Jeff, what's going on?
Man, Moon, I apologize. I got busy talking to legislators, trying to make sure we get the money that we need to defend these pro-life cases. So, in other words, you were working.
I was working. See, that's proof.
I can't fault a man for working, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate, I apologize for my tardiness, but, you can send me one of those slips. Remember the teacher used to give you a tardy slip?
Oh, the hell with that. I'm going to send you a bill.
Oh. Don't do that, Moon. I told you I was on the phone looking for money.
Yeah, I hear you. But Jeff Landry, Attorney General, the governor's running into more controversies. You want a court case. I'm trying to figure out where this governor's going. They keep trying to pound you in the press with the governor, but I keep saying Jeff's doing his job. Why are they picking on you?
Yeah, well, Moon, like I've said all along, I don't have a problem with the governor on this issue. The governor has a problem with the law. I mean, our rulemaking body, our lawmaking body in this state is our legislature. And when the legislature decides that they don't want to do something, the governor doesn't de facto get the ability to then go do it.
Mm-hmm.
He is supposed to execute what they pass, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's what we have here. We have a governor who wants to create a protected class for gender identity. It's problematic on a number of fronts. I was up in North Louisiana all last week talking about this issue in front of the Rotary clubs. And our legislature this year rejected creating that protected class 5 different times. And the governor just says, well, when the legislature doesn't act, I get to act. That sounds a lot like Washington style politics. And I mean, I'm not, it's just something that I was not happy with when I was in Washington. I certainly don't want it injected into this state.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, what you're trying to do, and I think you're right, you're trying to make sure we're protected under the law. And I think you're right, Jeff, and that's why I appreciate you coming on and being honest with us. And I think what he's trying to do is play some politics on this. And that's a shame. It doesn't need to be any politics in the law.
No, exactly. And look, I mean, here's the thing. If he wants that to be a law, I mean, we know that the governor, in our state, the governor is a pretty powerful position. I mean, if he wants it, he can go to the legislature and get it. If they don't want to give it to him, then they have a good reason why they don't want to give it to him, and he doesn't get it. I mean, he's not the boss of everybody.
Well, Jeff, this is the thing about it, too, is when you try to do something like that and then you try to force it down our throat, these executive orders are not always the best way to go. And matter of fact, I think they're not the way to go at all, but I know we have it.
Well, it is not. Look, our statute specifically says, grants the governor the authority to issue an executive order, and that the executive orders are supposed to be as a tool to help him faithfully execute the laws of this state. And next week we're going to go to, and so what we did was, he took us to court. He took the fight to court. He wanted to fight us in court. We won a couple of weeks ago. We go back into court next week, I believe, in order to ask the court once and for all, does the governor have a right to create law through executive fiat or executive order? And I'm, I feel pretty good that the law is what it is, and that is the legislature that creates the law. And I got a feeling we're going to win.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, I hate to do it to you, but I'm going to let you go. We'll do it again very soon.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff Landry, our state attorney general, who is right. The governor's been wrong. Don't believe what you're reading the press, folks. They're still trying to protect this governor who wants the taxes to prosperity. When we get back, hopefully we'll have Charles Bustani on, and we'll visit with him in a few minutes. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Congressman Charles Bustani's on with me. He is running for United States Senate seat. Charles, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Moon, I'm doing great. I just heard John Kennedy's attack ad on your program during the commercial break. It's just amazing that he could lie to donors as the state treasurer and collect millions of dollars in re-election funds for the U.S. Treasury, or for the state treasurer position, launder the money to an outside Washington, D.C.-based group that hired a former bidder staffer to come up with all the lies. It's just amazing. Yeah. This guy's not a conservative. He's a John Kerry liberal who's hiding under sheets, basically, in effect, to try to make himself out like a conservative. It's crazy.
What as far as the runoff goes, are you still? And I'm not saying you, Charles. I'm saying anybody. I always thought it'd be a Republican Democrat. Do you think two of y'all can get in the finals in a runoff like that?
Well,
I'm asking because I don't know. I mean, I just looking from outside in with the presidential race. You're thinking, the Democrats going to have a bunch of people vote too. Just your thoughts on that, though, because I saw some polls that got everything nick and tuck.
Yeah, it's all close, and I'll tell you this: I think anything can happen with voter turnout being much higher than normal, because most polls are based on standard voter turnout and chronic voters. So the polling is going to be somewhat inaccurate because you got a lot of people who are not chronic voters who are going to come out and vote, and so we'll have to see what happens. We feel pretty good about where we are right now. Kennedy and I are basically tied for first place, and he's attacking me viciously. He spent over $1 million attacking me. Because he's afraid.
Well, let me ask you a question.
This is a guy who uses the bond commission. He's corrupt. He uses it pay to play to extort contributions to his treasurer's account. Then he money launders the money out of state to come out and attack me because he's scared of me.
What about the fact that if you're nick and tuck with him, and I saw polls that showed a lot of things that you're saying, but what about Bananas Foster? Because I know Bananas Foster is right there playing at the top, and I don't know if Fayard takes over him or. Because let's say it is a Republican Democrat, and there's a lot of people think it can be two Republicans. I'm just not one of them yet. I'm not convinced yet unless it happens. What about Bananas Foster? I mean, is there a way to eliminate him or eliminate Carolyn Fayard and put two Republicans in there? I know it'd be ugly. I'm not going to go any further than that.
Yeah, there is a way, and right now Fayard and Campbell are fighting. They're beating each other up pretty bad. We'll see what the impact is. We think it could drag both of them down, and that's my hope. I think we're going to see a lot of Trump voters coming out, and I think that's going to be good for me in the long run. Yeah,
it's just going to be an interesting race, and I just want to make people, and I know you want them to be aware, today, you need to vote today. If not, you got to wait till the 8th, which is next Tuesday.
Yeah, this is the last day of early voting. I urge people to get out and vote early because the lines have been very heavy for early voting, but it's going to be even heavier, I think, on the election.
You know what I just saw, Congressman Bustani, that early voting, first 3 days, is up 67% since 2012. Yeah. But I can't tell you who's that vote's going to, not necessarily in your race, but presidential race, which drives a lot of this.
I think the presidential's driving it, and in Louisiana, it's Trump. And being a Trump supporter, I endorse Trump. I think a lot of our folks are coming out to vote for Trump. They don't like Hillary Clinton, and I think that's going to be helpful for my campaign. Yeah, it's an interesting time. I know you saw it. What about? Look, Charles, you're in Washington. What are you hearing about the deal with Hillary? Because I got to believe we all knew she was bad news anyway. I mean, it got to be reeling a little bit in Washington, D.C. right now with what's happening with Hillary. Well, no question. I'll tell you, Moon, first of all, Hillary Clinton, and we all know this, is a threat to our national security.
Absolutely.
Period. And I think it's just amazing that the FBI gave her a pass initially, and now they're coming back to look at this, and they're going through, I think it's like 65,000 new emails to see what happened. This thing is not done. She is a threat to our national security. She cannot be trusted. And the fact of the matter is, I think people in Louisiana certainly see that. I hope people around the country will see it. And Trump seems to be making gains again around the country. So that's a good thing. With
650,000 new emails, there's a lot there. We saw, it's amazing, too, that they already lost one Democrat national, somebody heading up that. And now Donna Brazile, of course, she's been fired basically from CNN. She runs the Democratic National Party. Just your thoughts on that? Because, Foster Campbell and Fayard are big Democrats and big Democrat Party operatives.
Well, this is exactly what they did. She's working for CNN. She's the interim head of the Democratic Party nationally. And what does she do? She uses that position at CNN to funnel emails to Hillary Clinton's campaign to give her a heads up on the questions in the debate. That's the kind of game they play. They game the system. They rig the system. They work to circumvent fair rules and fair play. That's the Clinton way of doing things. But, it's one thing when they do it under the circumstances they've done it, which I don't agree with. But when you put national security at risk, this is just completely unacceptable. She's not fit to be president of the United States because of what she's done with our national security.
Yeah, it's amazing, too. It reminds me of the Reagan race where they said how you can't trust Trump, but all of a sudden, I think it's always been you can't trust the Clintons. I just can't believe. As a matter of fact, if she gets in control of everything, the IRS, DOJ, the FBI, immigration policies. I mean, we're going to have a major problem. We already got a major problem. We don't need any more
We
help.
already got a major problem. We have 8 years of politicization of the Justice Department, our intelligence community, the FBI. It will be worse under Clinton.
All right.
No question about it.
We got to go. Congressman Charles Bustani, thank you. I know we'll hear from you again. Good luck. 1 week to go.
Thank you.
All right. We got to take a break. More to come. Your calls, all that and more as the Moon Griffon Show continues. It is the political season. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Captain Norman's catching them, folks. I'm telling you, now, next month, especially with this warm, we don't have any cold weather. Water's beautiful. He's catching speckled trout and redfish and hackberry. He's waiting on you to call him. Just check aspeccharters.com, aspeccharters.com for one of the best trips you can have. I think the earliest trip you can take right now is November 10th. Folks, he'll catch fish into December and January, even with the cold weather. Captain Norman says give him a call. Let him come. Let you and your family members or friends or business people come out. He can do multiple boats. And I'm telling you, Captain Norman's got it going on. Here's the number, 337-884-0656, 337-884-0656 is the number. It'd be interesting. Interesting Senate race we got going on. 3 or 4. Matter of fact, there's a Senate debate tomorrow. I think tonight in our area, in Lafayette, Lake Charles area, in the 3rd Congressional District, there's a debate going on tonight that you can watch. And then there's a statewide debate tomorrow. Not that I think everybody's going to watch the debate, because I don't. But if you get a chance to do it, you can. By the way, the Megyn Kelly auction, the $20 million, Brandon, okay, has taken an unexpected turn. Fox News has offered its biggest star north of 20 million years to stay. But the highly anticipated and widely expected auction for her talent has not materialized. In other words, other people are not running trying to get her from Fox. Do you think she's I don't know about ratings, so I don't look at all that crap, but do you think she's number one draw over O'Reilly?
No, O'Reilly is the number one. He is number one. There's no doubt about that. I mean,
they got a lot of other programs I would think way better than hers. I don't watch them. I don't watch them. I'm
not a huge fan of
ignorance on this. I just don't watch it.
I'm not a huge fan of her show, but to say that there are plenty other better than hers,
I'm asking.
Cable news, I don't know about that.
On cable news, well, hold up now. There ain't probably nothing better than CNN. Gee whiz. Anyway, it's phenomenal to watch. All right, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Marcel in Lafayette. How you doing, Marcel?
Hey, Moon. Well, it used to be Lafayette. I'm out in Sulphur now. But I tell you what, I went and early voted yesterday, and I was talking to people, and they were saying how the lines are actually going out of the building.
Actually, I voted early, and we had to wait outside the building. According to Tom Shedler, early voting compared to 2012, which was the presidential election, is up 67%. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to have a bigger turnout. It just means that a lot of people voted earlier.
Yeah, if it's an indicator, though, of I'd like to know, comparing to early voting previously, how that actually rates, because that could be, an indication of, how people are going to turn out and vote. But I can't believe what Kasich did, man. I tell you what, I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative independent, but I can't believe that, he took the oath and made the promise and gave Trump a hard time because he wouldn't make that commitment at first. And he turns around and he throws his vote away.
But Marcel, Trump did make the commitment that he would support the candidate. You got to remember that whole question. I think Megyn Kelly asked it, maybe not. That whole question was set up to make Trump get in line. It wasn't set up for everybody else. It was really set up for Trump. Trump did it, and people like Kasich, proving they're a politician, a political liar, didn't. So there's Kasich now coming back, writing in John McCain.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. But before I let you go, Moon, I just want to say, man, I was listening to K-Pel, I think it was last week before last, and I was like, man, I can't be hearing this. Shoot, I heard Brandon at 5:30 in the afternoon on the radio. It's like, man, this guy's a workaholic. This guy's a stud for Moon. And you know what, Moon? He won't say anything. He won't say anything. He appreciates you feeding him. And look,
how about paid vacation? That's what he likes.
Wait. So he appreciates all that food that you feed him and the pretty flowers that he posts on Facebook that you send to him and he gives to his wife.
No.
But the man needs a pay raise.
Oh my God! Tell y'all what,
Appreciate you,
let me tell you what,
Appreciate
Marcel.
you.
If you people call it saying he needs a pay raise, the Christmas bonus is out. The Christmas bonus is no more. Done, gone. All right, Marcel, thanks for the trouble you caused. I'm going to start calling Marcel Cornelius of Lafayette.
Well, no, Cornelius of Sulphur.
Of Sulphur,
Now
I
it's
mean.
Sulphur,
I'm sorry,
yes.
of Sulphur. Anyway, at least he found us over there on KAOK, our good friends at KAOK. All right, thanks, Marcel. Marcel rhymes to go to have fun. All right, let's go to Ted. Let's go to Ted Lafayette. Ted, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, Moon. Question, you let Boustany go too soon because I had wanted to ask him a question about. I've been watching his, listening to his commercials on the radio about, heart surgery and why do politicians? I mean, why do people get into politics?
Why do they get in politics? I think a lot of them start with the. I think a lot of them, not Boustany, all of them start with the idea that that's what they want to go do. They think they can make a difference. I would think that's why a lot of them get in.
Well, you see, you gave me the answer that I was looking for because why don't doctors stay and be doctors to help out mankind instead of going into politics? Because they can do better for mankind if they would stay out of politics and help heal the people who are injured or whatever, or sick.
Yeah. I don't know.
What I wanted to ask them.
Yeah. All right.
I lawyers and other people, I realize, get into that but with a doctor, I mean, there's a lot of doctors that are now in politics. Evidently, there's more money in politics than there is in their profession.
Well, but some doctors made their money. I think in Dr. Boustany's case now, and this is not to defend him, but to be honest, and I may be wrong on this, Dr. Boustany retired. He was a heart surgeon. And I want to say he was a heart surgeon for about 20 years. Now, I may be wrong on some of this, but I don't think I'm missing by much. He retired and then decided to run for Congress. So he didn't run for Congress. He wasn't a doctor as he was running for Congress. He quit being a doctor and decided he wanted to run for Congress. Now, I may be wrong on that, but I think I'm correct.
Well, hasn't he been in politics 20-something years now?
Has he been in politics 20? What has he been a congressman for 3 or 4 terms?
No. Hasn't he been 20 years now?
No. He's been a congressman, I'm going to say 8 to 10.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say 8 to 10. I tell you what, he won an election. He may have won 2 elections. Then he ran against Jeff Lane. This may not be but his 3rd term. Brandon, you have any idea?
I'm looking it up right
his
now.
3rd or 4th term. No, he was a doctor. I'm telling you, he retired from a doctor. Then he ran for office.
In 2004.
Well, I guess my only thing is, to me, if you hear people saying they want to make America, help out the people and conservative values and this and that, but to help mankind, to me, if you're a doctor, you stay being a doctor so you can help out mankind. You would do a lot more benefit helping out people, even if you're retired, than going into politics.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the call. All right, Ted. Thanks. And one more real quick. And you said 2004? He's been there since
2004.
12 years?
Remember U.S. Congressman Chris John?
Yeah.
That was when
he's the one that got wiped out by David Vitter. Yeah.
Well, when he decided to retire in order to run for the Senate, Boustany jumped in that area.
He ran 6 terms.
He defeated Willie Mountain in that race.
That's right. He did 6 terms.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to Michael in Lafayette. Michael, how you doing?
Hey, Moon, I've talked to you in the past. I'm the guy that listens to you all the time when I'm on dialysis.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I just kind of catch you into that conversation. Yeah, I'm kind of wonder about all these congressmen and senators that have our doctors that become doctors and senators because, I've had to take Obamacare. I'm retired. My wife and I are disabled and whatever. And my Obamacare was $1,700 a month for my health care, and I'm scared to death because today is open enrollment for the next year.
No, I'm
scared to death. I heard you say you had like $2,200.
Well, I'm gonna find. Well, that was last year. That was the year we in. I'm gonna. Hopefully, I'm gonna find out this week. I got a bad feeling. And that's not fair to me. What Obama's done to me and people like me. It's not even fair at all what this man has done to people.
My stomach is turning too over this kind of thing because I'm telling you, if it goes up much higher, we're just not going to be able to afford insurance. It scares me.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to know, but I got no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just wish these doctors that were in Congress and the Senate would, sit down and think about, what this is doing to America. They need to fix this.
Well, this is not fixable. They need to go back to something that's workable. This is not workable at all. Got to take a break. Be right back. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. There's a 4th Congressional District race going on. Representative State Rep Mike Johnson joins me. Mike, how you doing?
Hey, Moon. Great to hear you, as always.
All right, Mike. Want to be in Congress? Get in there with the big boys in Washington, D.C., what makes you want to do that and head to Washington?
Well, Moon, I have 4 children under the age of 15, and I am deeply concerned about the country that they're going to inherit. And, my background for the last 20 years, I've been in the courts and in the court of public opinion defending the Constitution, defending religious freedom and the sanctity of human life and our Second Amendment rights and conservative economic principles. All those things are in jeopardy right now, and we're basically sacrificing the future of our kids, and I'm just not willing to sit around and let that happen anymore.
Okay, and by the way, that's a great idea. All right, it's a big area though, and I ain't seen a poll in that race, and I'm not asking you to give me one. But what are you going there for? I mean, I understand why you're running, but what are some things you think you can make a difference in that will make a difference for our state?
Well, listen, if we will apply Louisiana values and common sense in Washington, we can still turn this country around. We don't give up on the American spirit. Ronald Reagan said, never give up on it because it's triumphed too often in our lifetimes to stop believing in it now. And I still believe that. He said it in 1985. I believe it more today than ever. We can still turn this thing around. And the way we do it, Moon, is we get back to our founding principles, the things that made us the exceptional nation that we are. We're the most free, most prosperous, most successful nation in the history of mankind, and that's for a reason, because we're founded on these certain ideals. That is limited government, to get the government out of everything that we do, to reduce taxes and regulation that hamper entrepreneurs and job creators and business owners, and to enhance our national security again. I mean, those are the 2 big concerns of everybody, jobs and the economy, and this treacherous situation that our nation finds itself in this age of terrorism and all these radical tyrants around the world that want to take us out. We've got to beef up the military again. We have to unleash our economy again, the free market, and we can do that if we just apply these common sense conservative principles. That's what we have to do, and I think we still can.
Yeah, do you find it amazing, these emails and from WikiLeaks to what the FBI is doing? I think it's great. And people say, well, you think it's great because it's going against Hillary. They should have laid Hillary out back in July is when that should have really happened.
If it was any one of us, we'd already be in jail, and you know that. There's a double standard. And the problem is, Moon, look, I'm traveling around the 15 parishes that make up the 4th Congressional District. This is one of the most conservative districts in the country, good, God-fearing folks, and they believe in the rule of law. The problem with this nonsense, when Hillary plays by a different set of rules than the rest of us, is it undermines the confidence that we have in the rule of law itself, and that's when the system begins to break down. So I was driving down the road with my campaign staff the other day. We were openly cheering for the FBI. I can't say I've ever done that in my adult life, but look, they have to apply the law equally. Justice has to be blind. It's one of the essential, critical elements of our constitutional republic. And we let that thing go at our peril. So, yeah, it's a very important development, and we certainly hope that it goes the full course.
I'm reading in Pennsylvania, 53% increase in Obamacare plan. This thing's working like they planned it. Devastation of the health care law, especially for individuals like me. Devastation where we got to run back to them. They're going to blame the insurance companies. Democrats never take the blame for anything in the policies they create, like all the problems in inner cities created by Democrats. Never corrected. Just throwing a new program, and now with this, your thoughts on the health care deal, because it is phenomenal how this thing is blowing up.
It's unbelievable. We knew this was going to happen. All of us who are just apply common sense saw this coming. We've been saying it before they passed the monstrosity. Look, the Democrat Party believes that government is the solution to every problem. I believe, like Reagan did, government's not the solution. Government is the problem. And Obamacare is a fantastic example of that craziness. And look, we have to repeal and replace this thing in its entirety. We have to pull it out at the roots. Every word of it has to be completely repealed, and Congress has to start over. And what we have to do is a patient-centered, market-based approach to health care again. We got to get the bureaucrats in Washington out of the doctor-patient relationship. That's how we fix the healthcare system, is we reinstate free market principles. That's what always works. That's what made America great.
But you know, Mike, it's amazing. We're talking to Representative Mike Johnson, who's running for Congress in the 4th Congressional District. You know, it's amazing. You name it affordable health care, and it's all but affordable. It's affordable hell. It's hell. And they call this affordable health care. The press is not bombing Obama, bombing Hillary Clinton like they should. And then they'll come back. And you let Donald Trump win, they'll bomb him about the economy. They'll bomb him about jobs. They'll bomb him about health care. They could be bombing. And I mean, when I say bombing, I mean literally laying Obama out as the bad president he is and Hillary, but they're not doing it.
No, they're not. The deck is stacked against conservatives like us, and we've known that. We all have recognized that for a long time. The good news is, though, Moon, more and more of the country is finally acknowledging that fact. I mean, they don't even try to hide it anymore. The mainstream media's bias. It's gotten so completely out of control that now there's a backlash. And I believe that's going to continue, Moon. I think they're losing their credibility. No one listens to what they say anymore. Increasingly, that's true. Now, the problem is the younger generation of Americans don't have any real understanding of the Constitution or our rights or these fundamental freedoms that we're losing every day. And it's easy to take the freedom away from people if they don't even know they have it. So part of our challenge is this kind of education process where we have to take the next generation of Americans and kind of teach them, many of them for the first time, why America is so great. I mean, we have to get back to the founding ideals or we're going to lose the whole country. I don't think it's too late to do that. And that's why we're willing to go to Congress and try to fight for it. I think we can. I think the one good thing about the country being in the tremendous mess that it's in is that people are paying attention again. And they're going to hold their elected officials accountable, and it's about time. I think we've got to do that.
You know, the health care to go to socialized ration care is unthinkable to me. Totally unthinkable to me. But you know what? To some people, vote for Hillary, they don't care. They voted for Obama, they don't care. We don't have jobs in this country. 95 million people not working. You look at the inner cities, devastation in the inner cities over the last 8 years. Still voting for Democrat, trying to figure that one out.
Well, exactly. And look, the governor and I went to law school together. He graduated a year behind me. We've known each other a long time. I fought him tooth and nail on all those tax increases down in Baton Rouge over the I've been there less than 2 years in the legislature, and I was 4 inches taller when I got there. I mean, they beat me down mercilessly for standing on our core principles. But look, we stood on them, and we grew the coalition to oppose all that. And the problem is their worldview. You know, the governor, John Bel Edwards, and the people that agree with him, they believe the government really is the solution to the problems. And if you believe that, there's no amount of revenue that's too much. You're just going to keep raising taxes ad infinitum, because if you can gather all that money up in a pile, you can distribute it through all your social programs and fine-tune everything and usher in utopia. But it never works. If that worked, Detroit would be the shining city on the hill, right?
Absolutely. But, hey, I'm glad you brought it up. Between Bobby Jindal's last year, that was his first year, $2.4 billion in new taxes. Not only we're $313 million short, the governor says it's going to be even bigger, and that's Jay Darden down there going, he don't know what to do. And so you raise that much taxes, and the results are the same or not worse. Then we got a tax task force out there, Mike, that's going to come back and tell us how to raise even more taxes. And then we got a road tax out there that raise even more taxes. And yet people are not making a good living here now because of the problem in the economy.
No, and look, I'm traveling around this congressional district, and I'm getting pats on the back for voting against all those taxes. When we were in Baton Rouge, we were the bad guys. Remember, they labeled us the gang of no. I mean, tarred and feathered us. Because we said you can't raise taxes and increase regulations anymore on small businesses and families in this state. They're going to leave us. They're going to go to Texas or Florida or greener pastures elsewhere, and it's happening right now. So we've got to turn the ship around. And if that task force comes up and says the solution is to raise more taxes, I'm telling you, brother, they're going to hit a stone wall. Mike,
they're going to come back and brag about some taxes they're going to cut. The bottom line is that task force is out there to raise taxes on people and not to cut. Mike Johnson, best of luck to you, 4th Congressional District. Wish you the best.
Thank you, my friend. Good to talk to you.
All right, Obamacare killing jobs and destroying small business growth. Obamacare, the gift that keeps on killing. And it's supposed to be affordable cash saving people, the gift that keeps on killing jobs and everything else.